What's the first word that comes to mind when you think about Juneteenth?
Oh my God. Birthright.
Unity.
Acknowledgement.
Community.
Legacy.
Celebration.
I think I would say freedom. One of my favorite Nina Simone quotes is someone asks her like what freedom means to her, and she says that freedom means no fear. And I think that that's the aspiration, that's the gist of Juneteenth to me. It's this striving for freedom that hasn't been attained yet.
If I had to explain Juneteenth, I would say that it should be a national holiday.
If I'm being completely honest, I'm a little ignorant on what Juneteenth is. I'm from a first-generation Haitian household, so my parents didn't really teach me a lot of the American holidays, let alone the Black American holidays.
I actually didn't know what Juneteenth was until like last year.
I mean, myself too, I just actually learned about this year.
If you didn't know what Juneteenth was, and in a very simple term, it was the day when the last slaves were given their independence in Galveston, Texas.
It marks the day that slavery was officially, legally abolished.
Just knowing that Juneteenth isn't as nationally or globally recognized as it should be, personally it feels like Juneteenth to me is just another thing that should be taught in all schools, should be mandatory knowledge for every student of America to know.
I'm a Black American. I'm also an African. I feel like I lived in both worlds. So I don't just look at Juneteenth, I look at the Black history itself, okay? You know, Black history wasn't really taught to us in high school, in junior high school here in America.
We learn about July 4th all day, right? I don't understand why we're not a little bit more cognizant to what Juneteenth means to the nation as a whole, right? It's not even just a Black thing.
Juneteenth is Freedom Day, but obviously with what's going on currently and what's been going on for hundreds of years, we aren't free.
Now more than ever, Juneteenth is crucial because it's like there's this denial of the contributions that Black Americans have made to the United States. And having something like Juneteenth establishes the legacy that they've imparted on American culture on all fronts.
We still have a long way to go. Black people are still getting killed by the cops.
This whole experience with George Floyd has exhausted the Black community in America. And to have Juneteenth coming up and we can remember and celebrate slavery ending, but be also confronted with this very real reality that racism has never left America.
Every time there's something in the news, every time someone doesn't get a job, every time somebody's family is broken up, every time they experience prejudice in the medical industry, it reminds me again of a centuries-long legacy of white supremacy, of discrimination, of subjugating Black people, making them second-class citizens.
It's easy to just actually see it happening and be able to just really not really understand it, but it's one thing to actually know how the system works, because that's what's going to give you perspective to what is actually happening. It's a system, it's not just random, right?
If you get caught up and you start, you want to celebrate Juneteenth, but then you start thinking of everything we don't have yet, everything that's wrong with our culture, everything that's wrong with the government system, it can just create more anger. I would like to keep Juneteenth kind of as a happy day, but it's stuff that we should be happy about.
Black people are so beautiful and we deserve to be celebrated, and we deserve to celebrate each other and our growth and where we're going. So, I don't know, I guess it's bittersweet.
In an ideal world, Juneteenth should be much more poppin' than July 4th. July 4th is nice and all, red, white, and blue, but Juneteenth might need to be red, black, and green. I don't know. A lot more music, better food, not just hot dogs.
It wouldn't be doing Juneteenth justice, and it wouldn't be doing Juneteenth's legacy justice to not also include education and activism.
It should be a day where everyone acknowledges and learns more about what got us to that day and where we are now because of that day.
So DJ, whenever I play or whatever I do, we use that same platform to also preach that message to people.
As a Black filmmaker, I think I take it as my responsibility to show the Black experience to its fullest extent.
As a content creator, I am very, very passionate about finding ways to bring the diaspora and continental Blacks together. So whether it's telling stories about slavery or anything else that we've commonly experienced, I'm all about it. And I try to keep that in mind when I make projects.
I mean, we're here today because of a desire to create something that not only educates people, but gives people a space to amplify their voices and talk about something that isn't normally talked about.
Juneteenth walks with me every day. It's a part of me. I am a representation of slavery in America. And with that, I hold a certain amount of knowledge, pain, history that I personally will not be denied acknowledgement of.
I'm using this opportunity to uplift and celebrate our voices even more. Let's get that Black dollar rotating. Let's keep it within the community. We deserve all the things because we got all the ideas. So stop taking it. Pay us.